everyone, welcome to the Sew Essential vlog. I'm here today to bring you one of my favourite types of vlog, which is to show you my latest makes. So it's always fun to tell people and show people what you've made and talk about how it went. So I'll be sharing all of that with you. The patterns and the fabric I mention are available on our website, and the link to the website is below. There's usually in-depth detailed blog posts about my makes as well, so you can find the link to the blog below as well. If you like what you see today, please do like and subscribe, and I'll talk you through each of the garments, anything that I took into account with sizings and adjustments and the construction, and hopefully that'll give you plenty of information to go on. So the first one I want to talk about is this lovely shift dress, which is a Burda pattern. It's Burda 6609. It's a really simple shift dress. It's got a seam which runs down the front as a design detail. It's supposed to have a zip in the back, but I omitted that because I made it in this lovely Ponte fabric which has got a slight stretch to it. So I knew I wouldn't need the zip in the back. I did make a toile first to check that that was going to work. It was super simple to make. It should also have pockets on the front here. I just wasn't quite sure about the pockets when I did cut them out, and I tried them against the dress, and I wasn't 100% sure, but I thought I can always add them at a later date if I change my mind. But I know there's a lot of pocket lovers out there, so it's just worth mentioning that to you as well. There's a couple of other options on the pattern as well. I think there's like a short sleeved version with one single sort of kangaroo pouch type pocket on the front, and then I think there's a sleeveless version as well. But it's a great little pattern, really easy to make, really quick to make, and really simple. Size wise, I graded from a 10 at the top to a 12 at the bottom because I am bigger on the bottom than I am the top. Any other adjustments I made, as I say, I omitted the zip at the back, so all I did there was I just cut the back bodice piece on the fold, but I trimmed off a 5/8 off the centre back seam first, because I knew I wouldn't need that because I wasn't putting a zip in. Also I did do a forward shoulder adjustment. Sadly I didn't do a high round back adjustment, and I'm regretting that now, and I don't know why I didn't do it. It's just one of those things. I made the toile, I thought it looked okay, and now it does feel a little bit low at the back, and the shoulder seams do look like they could have done with coming forward at the neck end as well, not just at the shoulder end, which I did with my forward shoulder adjustments. I also did raise the bust darts on this as well, because I often find that bust darts are a bit low for me. So I did that. Unfortunately I got that slightly wrong as well, because I put the toile on, marked my bust point on the toile, laid my pattern piece on top and marked the bust point on the pattern piece, and then I moved the dart in relation to that bust point. In hindsight, what I should have done is I should have unpicked the dart on the toile first, because obviously that alters the shape of the toile, and then I should have tried it on and marked my bust point. But hey, you live and learn, and to be honest, the bust point, the darts, sorry, are a little bit high on this dress. They are in the wrong place, but it's not the end of the world. They, you know, I still think it's better to have them higher than lower, and I learned how to raise them properly as well. I followed a tutorial to do that, and that worked well if I'd have got them in the right place in the first place. So yeah, I think that's all of the adjustments I made. I made it all on my overlocker. Because I omitted the zip, that was really easy. The neckline is just finished with a simple facing, so that was really easy. I obviously had to cut the facing for the back neck on the fold as well, so that it, you know, it didn't have a gap in the middle where the zip would have been. But other than that, I don't think there's really a great deal to talk about with this dress. I just think it's a lovely, simple, easy to chuck on, comfortable dress, which is, you know, always a nice thing. I think I'll wear this quite a lot to work. I'd probably wear it if we went to friends for dinner, or if I went out shopping on a Saturday, or went out with the girls somewhere for lunch. It's just a nice, easy to wear dress, and I definitely would make this pattern again. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased with this one. So the next make that I wanted to share with you is another Burda pattern. So I've been having a bit of a Burda moment recently, but I do think a lot of their designs, if you look at the line drawings and you can see past, you know, sometimes the styling on the packet, I do think they do some really up-to-date, fashionable styles, and I really do like the sizing with Burda as well. I always think that's quite good. So yeah, anyway, this is Burda 6632, so it's a simple blouse pattern. I think there's a sleeveless version as well on the in the pattern that you can choose from. It's got some really nice features. I like the fact it was a V-neck, because I think V-neck blouse patterns are very, very difficult to find. There's loads of round necks, but there's not very often V-necks. I just find that more flattering on me. It's got little pleats, shoulder pleats here as well, which on a small bust like mine I find quite flattering as well. It kind of makes me look a bit more like I've got a bit more upstairs, which is always a nice thing. It's loose fitting. It was supposed to have cuffs, but I decided to omit those and make it just a nice simple sleeve. I just copied a Zara blouse that I've got at home where that's the case, and for a going out blouse like this I just felt that that was quite a nice finish and kept it nice and casual. And then it's got a yoke and some pleats at the back. So yeah, just a really nice, easy to wear blouse. I'm absolutely in love with this fabric. It's a John Caldor crepe de chine. We do it in purple and black as well, and it is just so silky soft. It's so luxurious. It just feels like, I don't know, I put this top on and I feel like, yeah, I'm ready to go out. I'm going out. I mean business. I'm going to have a good time, and that's quite nice. I'm wearing it with wet look trousers or jeans or whatever they are. And then I wear it with these cage heels as well to sort of really dress it up and go for quite a night on the town look. So yeah, that's the blouse. In terms of making this blouse, again, another super easy make in terms of construction. There's no fastenings. It's, you know, it's straight over the head. It's very, very simple. The only details are the yoke and the pleats, at the shoulder and at the back. Obviously working with crepe de chine made it a bit more challenging because it's very, very slippery, but I wrote a blog post all about the tips that I used for working with crepe de chine. You can find the details on the blog. The main things I did were cut on a single layer rather than folding the fabric, because obviously the fabric does move around a lot when you're cutting out, and that can be very frustrating and cause you a lot of problems. So I cut on a single layer, which meant that I had to remember to flip the pattern piece if I was cutting two of the same piece, to make sure I got opposites. Or if I was cutting one that would normally be on the fold, I had to flip the pattern piece, cut round one half, leaving the centre intact that would normally be on the fold, and then flip the pattern piece over and cut round the edges of that. Another fantastic tip that I used as well, which was really, really helpful when I cut the neck facings out. I think I cut one out and it just was completely different shape to the pattern piece, and Angela advised me to cut out my interfacing first, iron that onto the fabric, and then cut around the interfacing as my template, and that was so much better and gave me the perfect shape, and it gave me real precision. So that was an excellent tip. I used my walking foot throughout the whole making of this blouse as well. And I think it would have been a nightmare without that. I mean, there is no doubt the fabric would have been slipping around and the stitches would have been in the wrong place. The fabric wouldn't have been lined up properly. So that was really, really important. We sell walking feet for most brands of machine on our website, and you can find links to that below. What else did I do? I also sewed French seams. So one of the things I'm really proud about with this garment, I did really take the time to get a lovely finish on it, because I wanted it to feel special. I wanted it to feel like a special occasion top. So I sewed French seams. I hand sewed the yoke into place rather than top stitching it down, which was what the pattern suggested. I also hand sewed the neckband on the inside as well, again just because I wanted a really nice neat finish on it. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else that I did in terms of it being a slippery fabric. I think those are all the tips that I used. I know some people like to use a rotary cutter when they're cutting out slippery fabrics. I'm a dressmaking shears or scissors girl through and through, so I always stick to that, but I know some people do find a rotary cutter useful, so that's worth mentioning as well. But yeah, there's a few other tips which you'll find on the blog if you're interested, but I just found it a really enjoyable challenge working with this fabric actually. I think a lot of people are probably quite put off by these sorts of fabrics and think, oh, it'll be a nightmare and you know, it will just be too much hard work. But actually, if you follow the tips and you've got the right tools, you've got a walking foot, it's a real pleasure learning to control a different type of fabric was what I found. And I enjoyed the challenge that brought, and I enjoyed sort of stopping and thinking carefully about things. And I enjoyed giving it that really luxurious finish, and it's got a really luxurious feel. So I'm very pleased with it. In terms of the fit, I think I did a toile in a size 8 because I'd read that the pattern was really generous on the sizing because it is supposed to be a loose fitting blouse. The size 8 I could just tell straight away was far too small around the armholes, but it was okay everywhere else. So I decided to size up to a 10 and I knew that would be okay. One thing that I did notice though as well on the toile was that there was supposed to be, I can't remember how many pleats there were on the back, I think it might have been 3 either side, and there was just, I felt, way too much volume in the back of the blouse. So I decided I wanted to reduce that a bit, so all I did was just removed one of the pleats, so it's just got less pleats at the back, less fabric at the back, and I think now I'm really pleased with the amount of volume in that. And I love the dipped hem as well, which is a feature I didn't mention, and I just think it's generally got a really nice sort of modern feel to it and a modern aesthetic. Obviously the leopard print is so this season, so I'm sure I'll be wearing this a lot over the next couple of months. I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to mention about this one. Yeah, it was just a really nice project to do. It's a super easy pattern to make. If you want to give yourself a little bit of a challenge, you could make it in a dressy, slippery fabric like I did, but you know, there's lots of other fabric types that you could use as well that would be a lot more straightforward. I think you could get a very different look for this blouse as well if you use something like maybe just a normal crepe, or a viscose, or a polyester. You could go for something that you would make a really nice everyday blouse for work as well, but I just chose to go for the dressy fabric and go for a dressy top. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing what I've been making recently. As I say, full details of these are on the blog. The patterns and fabric are available on the website, and I'll be furiously beavering away to make some more new things to share with you next time. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe, and that's it from me today.